everyone, I'm back again. I've got a decent drive back home. So yeah, I'll just start talking about whatever here. I've got some good news here today. It looks like I will be able to move probably within the next month or so. Let's hope. So yeah, that's definitely a good start to that process. And hopefully I'll be able to hang out more with Silent, and we'll make some more videos and whatnot, because right now basically what I'm doing is going out and meeting with him at his work at 1 a.m. in a parking lot and whatnot in the freezing cold. So that's kind of how that goes for the most part. And yeah, so looking forward to all that is to come here. Snowing fairly hard, but it's not too annoying yet. I'm just ready to get home. Once I'm home, I can relax, think of some videos, maybe record some videos, and then hopefully see Silent again tonight at 1. I know we were talking about doing a moving cards on the Banlist video, and the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist came out today from January 26th, I believe. So that should be very interesting. Just gonna go there, pal. Think you're letting me go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh man, busy on this road, and I'm about to live on it, hopefully. Alright, so yeah, like I was saying, the Banlist came out, some pretty interesting stuff. I want to do an in-depth video, maybe once I get home. Right now it's just kind of like an update, some things on my mind here. Yeah, a lot of interesting things happen. It didn't happen on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist. So our video idea that we have is the cards that should move around on the Banlist, whether it's they should go to 3, go to 2, go to 1, go to 0. They can be unlimited cards, they can be banned cards, they can be limited or semi-limited. So hopefully Silent will think about that while he's working today, and I will do my part and think about some things. I've got a few things, but to be fair, they've done a lot of interesting things on the Banlist lately, where the few things that I've wanted over the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, they've started to give stuff back. I'm glad to have Emergency Teleport back to 3 and Endanger Nessie at 3. I don't think either of those cards are going to be considered overly broken. I think they're perfectly fine to come back right now. And then my Blue Eyes Danger deck and my Cosmo deck can keep extending and, you know, get more consistent with those cards. Some cards we're just not going to get back, so when we play by the actual legal ban list and whatnot, it's kind of hard, which usually that's what I play with my other friends. Silent and I, we kind of do our own thing. Sometimes we'll make our own ban list or follow an old ban list or whatever we really want to do, and that's generally how that goes. We have a lot of fun with that, and I'm in the process of teaching Silent a lot of different decks and learning a lot of different decks, and in general kind of getting used to playing decks and whatnot again, you know, knocking the rust off. So that's a good situation there going on. If I wasn't so busy within the last year or so, I would have had a lot more content out. I'd be a lot more on top of a lot of things, but I'm almost always in the process of doing something. If I'm driving, I try to record. I try to listen to videos and whatnot, try to stay up to date on things, that kind of thing. I do a pretty good job. And I focus on what I think is most important. I get that kind of stuff out of the way, and then I do the rest of it. And there goes all my stuff falling on me. Alright, on the highway area now. Oh man. We have a lot of content that needs to come out. I've been working on ideas for years. I've obviously lost a lot of ideas over the years, you know, memory-wise. I've got papers and stuff that if I looked at them, they'd probably give me ideas and some opinions that I can do. The reaction videos are easy to do, where we can just pull something up and react to it. We don't like to overly fake our reactions and whatnot. I like to pick up stuff that we haven't seen in a long time, or something that one person knows about and the other person doesn't, so we're learning. Different things like that. So it's not just, here's a video, here's what I think of it. And a lot of times we get distracted or talking through it or whatever anyway. So hopefully you guys enjoy some of our content. We try to do our best with what we have. I know it's kind of rough at times because we don't have the camera on it, like the actual video, and with YouTube, they don't allow a lot of different content, so it's hard to make some content, and it is very hard to upload anything that was made by someone else. Even if it's under fair use, they don't really allow a lot of stuff. You can't upload video clips or anything like that. We don't do like editing or audio or anything like that, so as of right now, just try to appreciate the amount of quantity you get over the quality for now, because that's what we have available. I guess since I'm on the road and just thinking here, I'll start on my thoughts on the ban list today. So the ban cards off the top of my head were Eva, Arch Nemesis Protoss, Imperial Order, and some Word of Sovereignty, which is a link. I agree with every one of them. I think they were all good hits. The Eva hits the Drytron, which that deck's been around for at least 6 months or so. Usually about 6 months is when they start hitting it. So that makes sense. Imperial Order is just a generically broken card. I was surprised it ever came back in like 2017. I had fun when it was around playing it and whatnot. Not gonna really miss it, I don't think. So good hit there. Arch Nemesis Protoss, I guess, is for the Sword Soul deck that is like a top deck now. Go ahead and smack those down a little bit. That's cool. And the Bird of Sovereignty, some more. I believe that was used in the Tri-Brigade Lyralisk type decks. I can't stand those decks, so go ahead and ban it. If it makes Apex Avion or any of the other broken cards, yeah, ban it. The stuff I really found interesting was the limited section off the top of my head. Monster Gate, Pot of Desires. I don't really like the Monster Gate hit, but I'm sure there's something that's abusing it. Alright, let's go, not go. Monster Gate hit, I'm pretty sure that was at 2 or 3, so they hit it back to 1. That's a bit unfortunate, because I feel like Infernoid really needs that kind of stuff, and Infernoid's main 2 cards are both limited now, Reasoning and Monster Gate. So, you know, that's how it goes, though. Let's see, Fairy Tale Snow got unbanned. I was excited about that one. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's just a level 4, and it's a Book of Moon. It is a quick effect, and you can redo it over and over. I really didn't see what the problem was with it. I think the main problem with it wasn't the Book of Moon or the quick effect, it was the ability to banish. And I don't think it really matters anymore as much as it used to. Like when people would banish their Thunder Dragons and whatnot and then start plussing a lot. It's whatever. Astrograph Sorcerer, back to 1. That is a card I didn't really expect to be back anytime soon. I think that's a very strong card. I'd assume they're still going to play it. To me, it's like one of the best Pendulum cards they ever made, so yeah, go ahead and try to bring it back to 1 and let's see what it does. From there, what else do we have? Doing this all off the top of my head. I'm trying to think, did they unbanned or hitting? I think that was mainly the ones that went to 1. They actually did some stuff on the semi-limited list, which is exciting, in the unlimited. The semi-limited, they brought back a Hero Lives to 2, which I believe is fair, and they hit Fusion Destiny to 2. So that was a nice little boost and nerf, whatever you want to call it. They hit something, they brought something back. That's how they should do it. That's cool with me. Yeah, that's a hit on the Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. All the people playing that deck, you know, all those builds, people can't just play their own deck. They have to put that card in everything. Kind of scrubby, but whatever. I don't see why you can't just let hero players play it. That's it. What else went to 2? Salamangreat Circle, Scapegoat. I don't think either of those are going to really matter. Salamangreats are finally getting some stuff back because they kind of smacked them real hard when they were top tier. They hit like the Gazelle, they banned the Mirage Chalier, and they hit Circle to 1. And that's cool. Like, that's cool for Salamangreat players, I guess. They don't have Gazelle back, so until they get Gazelle, that deck's probably going to be a little bit behind. It's still a decent deck, and now it has more consistency. Scapegoat, I feel like, isn't going to be that great of a card. I feel like some people will actually start playing it now that it's a 2. I remember back when they play like Trick Stars, like slower decks like that, where you could flip it on your opponent's turn and on their end phase and then link off and start plussing that way. So yeah, let's get that back and see what's going on. They won't bring Light Stage back, so I guess Scapegoat's the next best thing. What else did they bring to 2? I think that's all off the top of my head I can remember. I apologize if I missed any of those first 3. The set are unlimited. They brought back Raigeki, which that's long overdue. They brought back Skill Drain to 3, which that's really surprising. Oh yeah, I think they limited the Lyrilisk Recital Starling, or whatever his name is, as well, which I agree with that hit as well. Let's see. Skill Drain went to 3. I'm for it. I know I'm going to be annoyed by it, but they got rid of Imperial Order and gave us Skill Drain, so I'm sure people are going to complain about that, but that's what they do. I feel like Skill Drain is a card that it hurts both players in theory. I know it's going to be one of those cards that people flip once they have a big board, and then your opponent can't break the board or whatever, which that's going to be annoying. It's not Vanity's Emptiness to me though, so it shouldn't be that problematic, I hope. I feel like the Mystic Mine haters and whatnot, they're going to be running into that a lot more because Mystic Mine decks aren't going to care about having their monster effects, and it's going to just hurt the opponent. I'm excited because you can side deck, or even main deck, Skill Drain in like a slower Blue Eyes deck or a Cosmo deck, which those are 2 of my favorite decks, so Let's see what those do. What else went to 3? Top of my head. Danger Nessie and Emergency Teleport went to 3. I commented on those. I like both those. The decks that I wanted to play out of those. Blue Eyes and Cosmos. Excited for those. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the ban list, I think. I think they did a pretty good job. I don't know of anything that they really needed to do. Otherwise, they weren't going to hit the Anaconda, Dragoon, Destiny, Phoenix Enforcer package, Artifact Site, any of those yet. A lot of people got too excited about that. And I was trying to say, with the Albaz deck, they're not going to ban Anaconda. They hit Destiny, Fusion Destiny, so there's that. And another hit that went to 2 that I just thought of was Nadir Servant, which that's a Dogmatica invoked hit. I'm for it. I recommend it. Yeah, for the ban list, I knew those cards weren't really going to get hit yet. Maybe on the next list. A lot of people used to think Dragoon was going to get banned. It's not. You know, people kind of learned how to play against Dragoon now and whatnot. And over the last year or so, they've been reprinting a lot of the really powerful cards like Cross-Out Designator. I'm thinking like board-breaking cards. Forbidden Chalice, or Forbidden Droplets, Triple Tactics Talent, Evenly Matched. There's cards to out things now if you're strictly a like a computer player. You play online, you don't have to buy the cards, you've got access to them now. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player that plays tournaments and competitive with friends and whatnot, I don't know what to tell you. You lose to Dragoon and whatnot, you do. There's Kaijus, there's different things like that. You shouldn't be losing to it, you should be prepared, you shouldn't lose to a lot of back row stuff. You know, you can't be prepared for everything all the time, so just you can't be upset about it. You lose, you lose. Let's see, what were some other things people were talking about hitting? That was one of the main things. They've been talking about the Anaconda package for a long time. Scythe is coming up. There's people that always say stuff about different cards that should get hit or whatever. They make no sense or whatever. I've heard El Shadow Winda. My opinion on Winda and the Schism and that kind of package, I wouldn't be upset if they hit Winda. Really? I never liked Winda. I think it's a really powerful card though. As for does it need hit? I'm not sure about that. I have ran into Winda a long time ago, and I'm not necessarily gonna complain about Winda. I could kind of see why it would be limited though. But like I said, there's all these powerful cards now. You shouldn't have trouble breaking any boards. People are going to probably laugh about it, but having Raigeki back to 3 is pretty nice. Like, we never have had Raigeki back at 3 since I've been playing. And playing by the ban list and all that. So this is like year 8 or 9 of following the ban list and all that. And Raigeki's a nice board breaking card that's cheap. They gave us Dark Holes back. You know, it's kind of wild how desensitized we are to having 3 Raigeki and whatnot. Back in the day, you got Raigeki, you were done. You put all your effort into making a board, and you couldn't set up negations and all that, because that's, you know, that wasn't how we played, or interruptions and different things. We didn't have all that stuff. We didn't, you know, if you didn't have recovery, you were hurting. You were going to have a lot of trouble. With when your board got blown up. And even before, a lot of these cards like to go to grave, like the Cosmo, like the big Cosmo monsters, they were okay with getting board wiped or whatever because they could float down and then they could plus back off Strawman or Sword Trooper or, you know, different things like that. Add your town, and, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, there's more protection effects now, like Return of the Dragon Lords can protect from Raigeki and whatnot. But it's going to be so annoying getting hit with Raigeki and whatnot a lot more, because Dark Hole was its own thing, but you had to lose your board. Raigeki's just slam it down, get rid of that board, and hopefully, you know, they have to negate Raigeki. You know, that's the kind of stuff we need. I understand that they need to make more busted cards to sell and whatnot. That's their whole mindset. But to me, if it wasn't in that mindset, they would have just brought Raigeki back instead of making like Lightning Storm and things like that. Now we have Feather Duster back. I don't expect Feather Duster to go to 3. That would just be incredible. I'm not opposed to it, really. I think that would be nice for the budget players because the ones that can't get Lightning Storms can have Feather Duster. Harpies can search it, which is nice. And, you know, sometimes you have to out a back row of, you know, now it's going to be skill drain. You got Gozen match, Rivalry of the Warlords. What are some of the things? There can be only one. Macrocosmos, Defissure, Summon Limit, different floodgates like that. Anti-Spell Fragrance. Just any regular battle traps or whatever. Not that anyone has played a battle trap in the last 5 years that I know of, which is kind of unfortunate because that's how I really learned and played and whatnot. And you actually had to think through plays and recoveries and resource management. Can negate a lot of, get rid of a lot of like counter traps and stuff like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Solemn Strike. I'm glad those are back at 3 and whatnot each. I still say that people don't play Solemn Warning nearly enough because I remember when before we had Strike and they brought Judgment back, Warning was incredible. It would stop your invocation type cards, your soul charge type cards, things like that that were really strong. It also hits normal summons, it hits special summons that don't have to be inherent. So like if you summon something from deck, I believe you can Solemn Warning that. Whereas other times Strike and Judgment might not be able to hit some. As for Cypher and Gamma, I know they hit Cypher and Gamma over in OCG. I didn't really think that was going to happen. I think their ban list is totally different. And their mindset is totally different. I feel like they try to balance things more, but they also hit lower tier stuff a lot quicker. Whereas they hit like ABCs and dinosaurs. I don't know that they were really that top tier at the time. So I don't know what they were thinking on that. They just wanted to sell their other product. Gamma is very annoying at times. I haven't played it that much. I played against it a few times, and it's been annoying. And I've used it before. The problem is I usually don't have an empty board. So once you get past like turn 1, it's only so good. And you have to make the Lambda just to activate them from hand. Unless you can really plus, you're not going to have the Lambda on board. I've, you know, gammed and whatnot with Cosmos and Heraldic Beasts and stuff like that. I'm not sure how the chain links resolve. Yeah, I guess as long as they react. If they go to Gamma, your tag out on Cosmos, so it's just, your tag out would go through, then they would try to Gamma it, and then you could Gamma their Gamma. and then you get your summon and you get your tag out. So then you could go, the play was you would make Omega, and then you could rip out a card from your opponent's hand, which that even seems like it's way far behind. Like, that seems, I'm not gonna say it's not powerful, but it just doesn't seem, it's been so long. Which thankfully they hit Omega quickly. When you have multiple Omegas, that's a serious problem. I remember people would play like Trishula and Omega and just rip out 4 or 5 cards out of your opponent's hand. That's not even fun. Like, I don't get what kind of player likes that kind of thing. It's kind of like Infernoble used to do before they banned Link Cross and all that, which I'm glad they did, even though I like cards like Link Cross. And I remember people said, well, it's Needle Fiber. They're going to ban Needle Fiber. And I kept saying, no, it's not going to be Needle Fiber. It's going to be Link Cross. And thankfully they hit the Link Cross. I don't know what else they hit in Infernobles. Yeah, I'm the type of player that likes to play a lot of budget type decks. I like combo decks. I like a little bit of control decks. I don't overly love decks that just sit on traps or negations and whatnot. I understand you have to do that a lot of times. Give yourself a turn nowadays. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't play a lot of those cards because I grew up playing combo decks that didn't really make a lot of negations and whatnot. And fun stuff like that, lower tier stuff, where a lot of people don't know what any of the cards do, so it's actually quite funny. Champion Excalibur, come 4,000. Rongo Miniad, the heroic champion that got banned, it had like 5 effects. It was just waiting to get banned at one point. And then some genius took the idea and made like him unstoppable with the Gossip Shadow and the Gumblar loop, where you'd rip cards out of your opponent's hand so they really had no chance to come back through it. Once again, I think you can just kaiju the Rongo Miniad and whatnot, and that's basically the end of that situation. So, not to say it didn't need banned necessarily, because I never really played against it. I can see why it got banned. I'm sure no one knows what like Chronomaly, Machu Mac and whatnot do. Chronomaly XCs and whatnot. And Chronomaly's got new support, so with the Pot of Prosperity and Retort Fusion or whatever it's called, they made that deck really easy to make rank 5s, and you can keep feeding your Infinity, which is nice. There's different ways you can burn your opponent with Chronomalies. Burn them for game. I think that's the only reason people play those type of cards. There's a lot of old cards that people just don't look at again after they're not played in their meta decks or whatever. And people don't really play decks the way they're supposed to or whatever, by archetype and whatnot, or they mix something in with it. I'm not going to say that I don't do that because I'm bad about it too, but you pretty much have to because they don't support every deck evenly, obviously. Should be fun for gimmick puppets now with the Raigekis and whatnot to hopefully play through some more negates. Gimmick puppets, the deck I've been playing and whatnot. I feel like the good thing about them is they can kind of play like a lot of rank 8s. They're locked into machines a lot of times, which is kind of unfortunate. There's like the Gearsu. You can make Numeron Dragon and basically attack the game often. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people hopefully be able to break boards easier and negate effects, but yet they kind of do the same to each other. So, like, you don't have to break a board if there wasn't a board to break, and you wouldn't have a board to break unless you made the board, you know, type deal. So, it's one of those situations where you just are in that position. To me, I still think I would rather deal with skill drain than Imperial Order at times, because sometimes, like, you can make a monster or something, at least a big enough monster, and deal with skill drain without monster effects, but without spell effects, I'd say a good let's say, I don't know, maybe up to 50% of a deck might not be able to play without their spells. So, you know, we'll see if anti-spell gets played more, or it's going to be skill drain everywhere, Mystic Mine, who knows, we'll see. You know, I don't really keep up with it too much, but I get excited about the ban list and that kind of thing, because they end up always doing stuff that they should have done years ago anyway, so I'll take it as a win and be excited about it. It takes me a little bit of time to think about the ban list and to watch some videos and see what other people are saying. Oh, another card that came back to one was Destrudo, which I hated that card when it was around. You could kind of determine what kind of sinker you wanted to make. It's really powerful. I think it's level 7, so if you have like a 4, you can make a 7 off of it, and you can resummon it. And now with Needle Fiber, I know you can summon off Needle Fiber, so that's an interesting concept. Most definitely. I really feel like Needle Fiber needs a reprint here soon. I wish I still had mine, but I don't. And as soon as I got rid of it, it was jumped up to like $30. So I'm gonna just wait till it gets reprinted. We picked up the Cyber Style deck, so hopefully we'll be getting into Cyber Dragon soon. And now we have 3 impermanences each. I had to talk Silent out of getting more, even though, yes, you play it in multiple decks, but you only need 3. No point spending the money on it. I always kind of looked at Impermanence as one of those cards that was slightly overrated. Yes, it's fantastic of a card, but when it came out, it was so hyped. And all it was just a better effect veiler that could negate 3 cards. I mean, yes, it's good, but to me, it's no card is worth the amount of money that people pay for them. And then, like, you know, now Impermanence is like a $10 card. Now you can get a whole structure deck with it in it. If you would have just waited some time, I don't care how many years it is, Impermanence is going to be a good card until the end of time, basically. That's another thing. I wonder how Imperm's going to do now that Skill Drain's back. Are people going to still play the Imperms? Are they going to play the Skill Drain? Are they going to do both? I really think that people are going to really start playing stuff like Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters, Arby's Feather Duster, that kind of stuff again. Because you got to be able to play through back row. You know, you got to be able to play through that Skill Drain, that Goes and Match, Rivalry. There can be only one, Macro, Deep Fissure, Zombie World, whatever type card that's annoying you that sits on the board. We call it Floodgates. Summon Limit. It's kind of sad that people don't play the old Floodgates that are really good too. Like there's Mistake, there's Imperial Iron Wall, which now you can just play Lancey instead of Iron Wall. Kind of unfortunate. Yeah, there's a lot of older cards people don't know about, and then they skyrocket in price or whatever, and then everyone hypes them up, and they end up being nothing. You know, they don't end up being as good as we thought, so. Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, I'm back home now, into the cold again, to get into the warm. So, thank you guys for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to give a little bit of content out while I was driving, 35-minute drive or so. Alright, see y'all later.